Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the channel, Who Died Today in America? In this video, we will tell you about famous American personalities who left this world in recent days, and also remember other outstanding people whose contribution will forever remain in our hearts. Before we begin, we ask you to support us and show your respect by liking this video. Bernard Marcus, born May 12, 1929 in Newark, New Jersey, was not only a successful businessman, but also a man who revolutionized the home improvement and repair market. Growing up in a family of immigrants from Russia, Bernard understood the value of work and overcoming difficulties from an early age. His family lived modestly, and despite financial difficulties, he managed to get an education in pharmacy. But fate led him to retail, where he found his true calling. Starting out with several retail chains, Marcus quickly proved himself to be a talented manager with an excellent understanding of customer needs. In 1978, Bernard's life changed when he was fired from Handy Dan, but this event only pushed him to start his own business. Together with Arthur Blank and Ken Langone, he founded the Home Depot, which became a true innovator in the home retail industry. The company offered the market an entirely new format, large stores where you could find everything for repair and improvement of the home, from tools to building materials. This hypermarket concept attracted millions of customers and quickly made the Home Depot a leader in the industry. By 1981, the company went public and its shares began to skyrocket. Under the leadership of Marcus and his partners, the company continued to expand, attracting the attention of shoppers across America and beyond. Bernard Marcus's accomplishments are not limited to his business successes, however. He has always been known for his active philanthropic work and deep desire to help others. Marcus has donated millions of dollars to medical research, particularly to treat autism and post-traumatic stress disorder in veterans. He was also one of the founders of the Bernard Marcus Institute in Atlanta, a center dedicated to the treatment and research of neurological and behavioral disorders. His contributions to community projects, support for nonprofit organizations, and health initiatives have made him one of the most significant philanthropists of his time. Bernard Marcus is a symbol of resilience and determination, an example of a man who overcame adversity and left his mark on history, changing the lives of millions of people. He passed away on November 5, 2024, leaving behind a significant legacy and the memory of a man whose life was dedicated to success, philanthropy, and helping those in need. Quincy Jones. Born March 14, 1933 in Chicago, Illinois, Jones is one of the most influential and prominent producers, composers, and arrangers of the 20th century. His career spans over 6 decades, and his contributions to music have made him an iconic figure who changed the very sound of the pop and jazz scenes. Growing up in a poor neighborhood and having a difficult childhood, Jones showed an insatiable passion for music from an early age. As a teenager, he learned to play the trumpet and quickly mastered the basics of arranging, which helped him enroll in a music school and begin his path to fame. His career in music began with work with jazz giants, such as Lionel Hampton and Ray Charles. Jones proved himself to be a talented arranger and quickly gained a reputation as a master. In the 1960s, he began working in Hollywood, becoming the first African American to receive recognition as a composer in the film industry. He created soundtracks for films including In Cold Blood and The Pink Panther, and his innovative approaches to arranging combined jazz, pop, and classical music. This style brought him recognition and opened the door to work with some of the brightest artists. In the 1970s, Jones began producing music, which became a new milestone in his career. In the 1980s, he teamed up with Michael Jackson to produce the albums Asterisk, Off the Wall Asterisk, Asterisk, Thriller Asterisk, and Asterisk, Bad Asterisk. The album Thriller 1982 became a real phenomenon, becoming the best-selling album in history and breaking sales records. This project was an important milestone not only for Jackson, but also for Jones himself, who created a new direction in pop music by combining elements of funk, R&B, and rock. Thanks to this collaboration, Jones went down in history as one of the most successful and influential producers. In addition to his work with Jackson, Jones collaborated with many other stars, including Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, and Ray Charles. He produced the charity single "We Are the World" 1985, which featured more than 45 stars of the world stage. The song raised millions of dollars for famine relief in Africa and was further evidence of his skill and ability to unite people. During his career, Quincy Jones has won 28 Grammy Awards and been nominated over 80 times, making him one of the most decorated figures in music history. In addition to his work in music, he was actively involved in charity work, supporting programs for young musicians and projects to protect human rights. He founded the Quincy Jones Foundation and was a UN Goodwill Ambassador, doing everything he could to help those in need and fight for equal rights. Quincy Jones passed away on November 3, 2024, leaving behind a legacy of creativity and an unquenchable passion for the arts. His contributions to music will remain an inspiration for generations to come, and his influence on the industry will live on in every sound he helped create. Alan Rachins, born October 2, 1942 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, was a talented American actor whose career spanned more than 5 decades. He became known for his colorful and versatile roles in film and television. From an early age, Rachins was fascinated by the arts, which led him to study acting at New York University and then study at the Actors Studio. His talent and charisma allowed him to quickly establish himself in the profession, and he soon began receiving offers that opened the door to widespread popularity. One of his most famous roles is that of Douglas Brackman Jr. on the popular legal television series L.A. Law. His character, the strict and somewhat pedantic managing partner of a law firm, became one of the show's key elements. Rachins masterfully embodied the character, making it both funny and dramatic, which earned him acclaim from viewers and critics, as well as an Emmy nomination. The character helped Rachins establish himself on television and become one of the most recognizable actors of his time. Allen later played the role of Larry Finkelstein, Dharma's father, in the sitcom Dharma and Greg. His comedic timing and ability to play eccentric characters made the role a fan favorite. Larry, a pacifist and hippie, was the complete opposite of the stern L.A. Law character, demonstrating Rachins' flexibility as an actor. His humorous delivery, intertwined with sincerity, created an unforgettable character that remains popular today. Alan Rachins has also been active in theatrical productions and voice acting, performing on the Broadway stage and lending his voice to various characters in animated projects. His talent for voice acting has led him to work on popular animated series such as Batman, where he voiced one of the famous characters, adding another unique dimension to his resume. On November 2, 2024, Alan Rachins passed away, leaving behind a huge legacy in the world of film and television. His roles, filled with energy and inimitable charm, continue to inspire and delight fans. Rachins will be remembered as an actor who was able to bring personality and depth to every role, be it dramatic or comedic. Ethel Kennedy, née Ethel Skeckel, was born on April 11, 1928 in Chicago, Illinois, and became one of the most famous members of the famous Kennedy clan, not only for her marriage to Robert F. Kennedy, but also for her tireless social activism. By marrying Robert Kennedy, the younger brother of President John F. Kennedy, she became part of one of America's most influential and famous families. Her life was filled with both joyful and tragic moments, but she always remained an example of resilience, loyalty, and social responsibility. Ethel was the mother of 11 children, which in itself was a remarkable aspect of her life. She supported her husband in his political activities, was his right hand, and was active in social events. Together with Robert, she took part in various social projects and civil rights demonstrations. Their home was a meeting place for politicians and activists to discuss important issues for the country. But in 1968, her life changed forever when Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated during his presidential campaign. It was one of the most tragic losses in Ethel's life. Despite her grief, she continued his legacy, dedicating her life to philanthropy and social work. In 1968, she founded the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation, which still supports programs in the areas of human rights, environmental protection, and social justice. Ethel was actively involved in the foundation's work, doing everything she could to ensure that her husband's memory lived on and continued to inspire people to do good. Ethel Kennedy is known for her unyielding character and commitment to social justice. She has repeatedly supported political and social causes, fought for human rights, and helped those in difficult life situations. Her children are also active in public life, continuing the work started by their parents. Ethel has become a symbol of fortitude and devotion during difficult times for her family. Her life is filled with work for the benefit of society, and her name remains significant in American culture as an example of unwavering strength of spirit and love for one's work. Sissy Houston, full name Emily Sissy Drinkard Houston, born September 30th, 1933 in Newark, New Jersey, Sissy became one of the most influential figures in the world of gospel and soul music. The mother of famed singer Whitney Houston, Sissy also achieved significant success in music, leaving her mark as an outstanding singer, vocal mentor, and inspiration for many performers. From a young age, Sissy was passionate about music and began singing in a church choir, where her unique voice and deep spirituality became evident to those around her. She realized early on that her calling was music, and dedicated her life to this art. Her musical career began in the late 1950s when she became a member of the gospel group the Drinkard Singers. The group, which included Sissy's relatives, quickly attracted the public's attention, and soon she was working with such famous performers as Elvis Presley and Aretha Franklin. Sissy became a sought-after backing singer. Her voice can be heard on albums by A-list stars. As part of the trio Sweet Inspirations, she sang background vocals for artists such as Presley and Van Morrison, and her unique timbre became recognizable throughout the industry. But despite her success as a backing vocalist, Sissy remained true to the gospel genre, and her solo work has gained recognition in the field. In the 1970s, she began a solo career, releasing several albums that earned her respect and recognition as one of the leading gospel singers. Her music has a deep spirituality and strength, and her voice has a unique expressiveness. Sissy won a Grammy Award for Best Traditional Soul Gospel Performance, cementing her status and talent in this musical niche. Sissy also played a significant role in the musical life of her daughter, Whitney Houston, to whom she acted not only as a mother but also as a mentor. It was under Sissy's influence that Whitney developed her vocal abilities, learning to convey emotions through music. The mother and daughter sang gospel music together and performed at various events, strengthening their bond through music. Despite the tragic loss of her daughter in 2012, Sissy continued her work in music and dedicated herself to Whitney's legacy, including helping to establish a foundation in her memory. Throughout her life, Sissy Houston remained true to her roots and spiritual values, inspiring countless people with her music and life. Her influence on soul and gospel music is incalculable, and her voice continues to resonate in the hearts of her fans, inspiring new generations of performers. Sissy Houston is a symbol of resilience, spiritual strength, and love for music whose legacy will live on for centuries. Terry Garr, born December 11, 1944 in Lakewood, Ohio, was a distinguished American actress and singer whose career spanned more than 4 decades and left a significant mark on the world of cinema. From the very beginning of her career, Terry demonstrated tireless energy and a love of the arts. Beginning her career as a dancer, she appeared in musical films in the 1960s, including several films with Elvis Presley. Terry's dancing career soon evolved into acting, and her charisma and comedic talent helped her achieve success on the big screen. Her breakthrough role was in Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, 1974, where she played the charming Inga. Garr brought a lightness and comedic edge to the role that made her character memorable and beloved by the public. Her ability to combine humor and drama earned her many roles in the years that followed, and by the end of the 1970s, Terry had become one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. In 1982, Garr gave one of her most famous performances in the film Tootsie, where she played the girlfriend of the main character, played by Dustin Hoffman. The role earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, which was a major moment in her career. Her character, emotionally vulnerable and witty, won the sympathy of viewers and cemented her reputation as an actress capable of portraying multifaceted and lively characters. In 1977, Terry also starred in Steven Spielberg's science fiction film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which became a classic and brought her a new wave of popularity. In addition to her film career, Terry is also remembered by viewers for her role in the popular TV series Friends, where she played Phoebe Buffay, the eccentric mother of the main character. This appearance in the series brought her to the attention of a new generation of viewers and added another comedy role to her reputation, for which she was especially loved. But despite her success, her life was not easy. In 2002, Terry Garr went public with her battle with multiple sclerosis, which she had lived with for many years. The disease had a significant impact on her life and career, but she remained resilient and shared her experiences with others, drawing attention to the disease. In 2006, she suffered a brain aneurysm, once again demonstrating her incredible fortitude in the fight against health challenges. Phil Lesh, born March 15, 1940 in Berkeley, California, was an outstanding American bassist, composer, and one of the founders of the legendary rock band The Grateful Dead. His unique bass playing style, combining elements of psychedelia, jazz, blues, and folk, became the basis of the band's sound and made a significant contribution to the history of rock music. Lesh, who had a bright musical personality and a penchant for experimentation, blazed a new path in the approach to playing the bass guitar, and his contribution to musical culture remains invaluable. From an early age, Lesh showed an interest in music. His musical education began with studying the violin, but he soon switched to the trumpet. His love of classical and jazz music led him to meet avant-garde composers and further explore new styles. At university, he met Tom Constantine, the future keyboardist for the Grateful Dead, and later Jerry Garcia, with whom he developed a creative and musical partnership that lasted throughout his life. In 1965, Lesh formed the Grateful Dead with Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir, Bill Kreutzmann, and Ron "Pigpen" McKernan. The band quickly gained cult status as pioneers of psychedelic rock, and their performances became emblematic of the hippie era and the American counterculture movement of the 1960s. Lesh brought his experience and technique, influenced by jazz and the avant-garde, to the group, which became the basis for the Grateful Dead's unique sound. His bass guitar, with its complex and deeply thoughtful musical lines, deviated from traditional approaches to the bass line, which set him apart from other musicians of the time. One of Lesh's most iconic compositions in the band was the song "Box of Rain," written by him for his dying father. This song, filled with personal experiences and emotions, became one of the most famous and beloved among the fans of the band. Lesh also co-wrote other popular compositions, including Unbroken Chain, which demonstrated his creative approach and talent as a composer. His bass guitar in these songs not only set the rhythm, but also created melodic lines, which was a real innovation in the rock genre. Following the death of Jerry Garcia and the dissolution of the Grateful Dead in 1995, Lesh continued his musical journey by forming the project Phil Lesh and Friends, in which he collaborated with various musicians, paying tribute to the legacy of the Grateful Dead and continuing his musical experimentation. He also participated in other projects such as The Other Ones and Further, seeking to preserve the spirit and sound of the Grateful Dead, as well as introduce a new generation to the band's musical legacy. Phil Lesh was not only a talented musician, but also an active supporter of social and environmental initiatives. He used his popularity to support various charitable projects and environmental organizations, which further strengthened his status and respect among fans. John Amos, born December 27, 1939 in Newark, New Jersey, was a prominent American actor whose career in television and film has left an indelible mark on entertainment history. From an early age, Amos showed an interest in the arts, which led him to begin an acting career in the 1970s. His path to success began with comedy roles on television, and he soon became one of the most recognizable actors of his generation, acclaimed for the depth and expressiveness of his characters. One of his most significant roles was that of James Evans in the popular television series Good Times, which ran from 1974 to 1976 on CBS. James Evans, the father of the family, was a strong, honest, and loyal man who fought for the well-being of his family in poverty. Amos brought depth and sincerity to his character, and his performance touched millions of viewers. Thanks to this role, Amos became an iconic figure in the African American community, symbolizing resilience and family values. His believable performance made Good Times a popular show, and Amos himself a favorite of the public. Following his success in Good Times, Amos gained recognition for his role in the historical miniseries Roots, where he played the elder Kunta Kinte. The project, which tells the story of an African American family over generations, became a landmark in American television and left a deep mark on the cultural heritage of the United States. His work in Roots earned Amos an Emmy nomination and established him as an actor capable of playing dramatic roles of great complexity and emotional power. Amos also made his mark in film, playing notable roles in popular films. He was remembered by audiences as Major Grant in the action film Die Hard 2 and as Cleo McDowell in the comedy Coming to America, where his charismatic and memorable image became one of the best comedy roles of his career. These works demonstrated his ability to transform and allowed him to bring both comedic and dramatic features to the characters, which made them especially lively and vivid. In addition to his acting career, John Amos was known for his social activism and support for various charitable projects. He always sought to use his popularity to draw attention to issues of social justice and racial equality, supporting organizations aimed at improving living conditions for the African American community. Donald Trump, former U.S. president, despite his active lifestyle and energetic public style, Trump has faced various health problems in recent years, which have periodically become the topic of discussion. Throughout his life, Trump has tried to maintain a high level of activity and is known for his addiction to fast food and his reluctance to exercise. However, in recent years, his health has come under close scrutiny from the media and the public, especially due to his age and intense lifestyle. In October 2020, Trump contracted COVID-19, one of his most serious health challenges. After contracting the disease, he was hospitalized at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, where he received specialized medical care. Trump was given treatments that included experimental drugs such as monoclonal antibodies, as well as steroids to control inflammation. The disease temporarily limited his activities, but he has since returned to public appearances, emphasizing his resilience and assuring the public that he is in good health. Beyond the COVID-19 episode, Trump's health has also been the subject of controversy over his cardiovascular health and his weight. His annual medical exams during his presidency showed elevated cholesterol levels and a risk of heart disease. He was prescribed cholesterol medications and was advised by doctors to monitor his weight and exercise. However, despite the recommendations, Trump continued his usual lifestyle, rarely exercising and eating a high-calorie diet, which has also been the subject of debate among doctors.